Number 3, find your North Star and commit. This is about choosing the actions to take, putting the thoughts to one side and focusing instead on your choices. To do this, you might take one simple cognitive approach to this and go tactically, if you like. For example, jot down your answers to the Socratic questions from tip 2, your way of thinking critically and rationally about your thoughts, and simply remind yourself of this each and every day until it becomes a habit. Pin it on the wall in front of you. Today is just one small step of getting closer to that person I want to be. I am a good presenter. I've had good feedback in the past and I'm improving. Turn these things into rhymes or chants that you quietly recite to yourself. A more action-oriented approach is to tie all of this back to an organised and structured way of working. You might have short to medium term goals that you intend to pursue or habits that you want to form. It's great to think of the systems that will enable you to get closer to these goals. And so this might involve linking your understanding of your thinking to clear actions to take when you have specific thoughts. So if, say, you start to have that negative thought that you're getting swamped or you're having many thoughts about self-doubt, you might link this to what's called a cue-dependent behaviour or intention implementation, Peter Gollwitzer. This is the simple rule. If situation X is encountered, then I'll initiate behaviour Y in order to reach goal Z. In our context, this might sound like if I'm having the thought that I'm doubtful of my ability to get started, I'll get up, walk around, disconnect from the thought before sitting back down to write the very first sentence that I need to. There are many techniques that can form part of your system, and we'll cover these in other videos like the one below. But the point is to think of clear actions to take or put in place that effectively help you to manage your thoughts. Now, more strategically, it pays to go deeper into your values and sense of purpose. And if you can align your rational thinking with a clear understanding of who and how you want to be, this can be a huge North Star for you when you're faced with challenges. So for example, if challenging your thoughts by seeking evidence to validate them is helpful, this might fit neatly under a theme centred on not taking things at face value, or thinking critically to get to the right answers. So you're someone who values getting to the crux of issues and understanding yourself. Similarly, you might align helpful over unhelpful thought processing with a drive to be more optimistic and a drive to expand your comfort zone. Remember, optimistic people tend to broaden out their focus rather than narrow down their options. So you might simply say that you aspire to be the kind of person who keeps expanding your horizons. In acceptance and commitment therapy and other overlapping concepts like psychological flexibility, the notion of being clear on your values is critical because it allows you to make values-driven decisions and live a values-driven life. For a lot of people that I work with, this can be really key. It's easy to smash our way through our lives focusing on the short term without taking any real time to think about our values and that deeper sense of purpose. But this is really what it's all about. What do we want to do with our lives? If we're running so fast without knowing really what we're doing it all for, then when we fall over, the bang is that much harder to recover from. On the other hand, once you work out your North Star, it gives you a bit of a defence through difficulty. But back to our main point, it can make processing those negative or difficult thoughts that bit easier. What's been really interesting through the pandemic is that it's actually forced a lot of people, to think about their values and what life is really all about. The problem is, however, that it often takes a seismic shock to compel people to take the time to truly explore this. Why? Well, there's a lot of expectations placed on us in life and structures that influence how we think about things. There's a pressure implicitly applied from early on that we need to be progressing and not standing still, that we need to be striving and not content, and that we need to be busy. These signals compel us to get on the hamster wheel and make it harder to get off. But what's happening is that we're confusing personal growth with growth in our companies or our country. I need to complete more tasks, manage more people, have more examples of achievement. Part of developing as an adult is about getting off the hamster wheel from time to time, doing some hard thinking about what you're doing it all for. Stop confusing activity with productive movements towards the kind of person that you want to be. So that's it. 3 tips on how to think about your self-talk. First of all, how to engage or tune in to how you think. Then to think about what you do with your thoughts, how you reframe them or you accept them. And then it's about making choices, committing to action, beyond your thoughts. I hope you found it helpful.